Episode 42. What's up with Lordbuckly? This week in showbiz history. April 1st, 19, 1926 or 2026. Mark the thing. All right, welcome back. I don't know why you keep coming back. There only seems to be 36 people. I guess everyone's gotten the message that this is not a worthy endeavor. Hey, the backdrop's looking good. Thank you, Catherine. How's everybody doing? What's up with LB in like Flynn? That's a great expression. Changed to in like Flint, by the way, during Our Man Flint, the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. Did people see that Don't Look Down video? I had it in the thing for a long time, and then I did a little premiere today before the show on YouTube or Twitter or somewhere as a Luddite. I don't know where it went, but that was a band I had with Wayne Kramer, the founder of the MC5, like a spoken word band, and we were making a mockumentary called "Don't Look Down," a parody of "Don't Look Back." However, the band is real, and we toured around for a little while here in Hollywood and Hollywood in the '90s, playing various venues, many of which no longer exist. Like the Garage and some other joints. Anyway, I thought people might enjoy that. Where are we? Welcome. Don't look down. Don't look back. We've got This Week in Showbiz History. Like and subscribe. This is one of the popular options here. Who am I to say happy Passover to my Jewish friends and relatives back east and in the West, in the Midwest, in the Promised Land, in the wherever you are in Poland. Good Pesach to all of you. Tonight is the Seder of the unleavened bread, because we had a split because this Pharaoh was so harsh that we didn't have time to put the yeast in the bread. We had to take it on the lam, part the Red Sea, escape, get to Brooklyn. Long story covered tonight in what the Christians call the Last Supper. However, welcome, Edward. We call it the Passover Seder. Somehow the angel of death passed over our houses, my house, and the Goldstein's house, and Viva's house, and just smited the Egyptian firstborn. Don't ask me how it happened. It's in the book. You may want to read the book. It's been proofread. I don't know if there's footnotes in that book. But tomorrow we'll be doing a deep dive on Viva and I will be doing a deep dive on a movie called Shawshank Redemption. And in that book, the book that became the movie, there is a Bible, not to be a spoiler, there's a Bible where he hides his rock hammer. If people remember the movie with Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, of course, he hides his rock hammer in the Bible, and it's at the beginning of the chapter of Genesis. About Exodus, rather, and it's about the fleeing of the people, which was kind of prophetic. We'll get into that tomorrow, but deep dive with Viva tomorrow, 7 o'clock on the Viva and Lordbuckly Go to the Movies channel thingy, and that is becoming quite fun. Now, we're here today, we're gathered today to talk about the history of show business for this particular week. I don't know how I came up with this thing, but it seemed to make sense at the time. So we could go back all the way to the 1800s. We can go to 18 minutes ago, and we could cover whatever happened in this week, and that includes events, birthdays, and deaths, not particularly in that order. We usually go from birthdays to events to those less fortunate who have passed on. Sometimes they're already dead, but we're celebrating their birthday. So it could be both. Sometimes it overlaps. But good time to like and subscribe. If you didn't do it, we got to get the subscriptions up to, because of that button. That's how it actually works. And all the backstory stuff you give us. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Scott H. Hello, John Netanyaga, whatever that means. Hello to C.L. Helton, one of the top Heltons. It was Todd Helton, of course. Used to play for the Rockies. This is his son. who's now unemployed and has plenty of time to be on YouTube all day. Let's see who else is on there. Hoorah for Phila. Stacy Michaels, one of the big supporters. Love you. Thank you for all your support, Stacy. Everyone should model their lives after Stacy Michaels. I mean that socially, economically, politically, and any other way you can. Just be a Michaels for one day. It wouldn't be so bad to be a Michaels. Let's see who else is here. MB, it's Marlene. Welcome, Marlene. Welcome, Garrison, 67. This is, of course, the son of the famous district attorney of New Orleans. He's now working with us. Love to show the backstory. Always. Thank you, Stacy. All right, let's see what happened this week in the news. We start usually with the news, and then we go from there. So let's take a look at hey, Lenny Briscoe. I like more brothers and sisters. Let's take a look at what happened this week from Variety. I usually use Variety. This story is so insane, I don't even know what to say about it. Because I went to film school, I went to screenwriting school, I sold screenplays, I rewrote people's screenplays. It took me years and years and years, about 10 years, to just hit my stride as a professional screenwriter here in Hollywood. And I sold something coming out of the gate, but it took a long time to really get my voice down and really nail it. With people like Oliver Stone and Mark Rydell and John Badham and others reading my stuff here in Hollywood. This guy is apparently coming out of the gate with his son to write a screenplay for a major tentpole franchise called Lord of the Rings. Again, nothing could be more symbolic to the decay and demise of Hollywood as to be giving this guy a political financial gift as he's heading out the door. That being said, I mean, they could rewrite it without giving credit to the rewriters. This could be an attempt to give this guy a new career. I have no idea how this could possibly work. Being a fan of Lord of the Rings does not make you a screenwriter of Lord of the Rings. Being a fan of Superboy does not make you a screenwriter for Superboy. Again, I have no idea what the bearded New Zealander is thinking down there with his hobbit houses and everything else. That being said, I believe this deal, this is my prediction, because it started before the takeover of Warner Brothers by Skydance and Paramount, and I believe that they will pull the plug on this once they get in there and get settled into the new office spaces on Barham, and not on Barham, but over on Olive, in Burbank. I believe they will look over these deals and reevaluate them, and his may be the first one eliminated. Todd is my cousin from what my family tells me. I had a feeling. I have a sixth sense about this stuff. It's not just a name game thing, but a lot of people are upset. It's not a fiasco. It's intentional. It's not like the guy stumbled into this. This is symbolic of the complete decay of Hollywood. The idea that you could take a civilian, some talk show host, it's like giving Johnny Carson a James Bond movie to write because he was retiring from The Tonight Show. That's how insane this is. Nobody knows how to spin it because of the political strangulation of these periodicals in Hollywood. So nobody has really called it out. They just keep writing about it as if it's normal. And hoo-ah, welcome, another travesty out of Hollywood. But okay, we covered that. What else do we have today? I don't know what else to say about that, except Supergirl. Okay, I saw Superman, and I saw it by accident, and I was pleasantly surprised how good Superman was. Near the very end, I saw it on a plane, but obviously I'm watching it on a 7-inch screen. But to enjoy it on a 7-inch screen, tells I may have enjoyed it 10 times more on a screen 10 times the size. I was very, very pleased. I wasn't crazy about it, but I mean, it was entertaining as hell. Near the end of the movie, Supergirl shows up, and I all of a sudden the movie stops, and she shows up in some bratty kind of thing. I didn't know where this was coming. I didn't know there was a Supergirl in the pipeline. It stopped the movie in its tracks. Obviously, it was a plug for this movie, for the DC universe. She, I didn't get it. I thought it, obviously wasn't appropriate at the time that it happened in the movie. It was near the end, and she comes flying in with Crypto the dog. And look, I'm a DC guy. There's nothing about DC that I didn't grow up with. I was a huge comic book collector, DC in particular. Everyone in my neighborhood collected DC. We didn't give a shit about Marvel. We just worshiped DC Comics and everything that went with that. Justice League of America, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Batman, Flash, DC, Legion of Superheroes, Supergirl too. Crypto, the dog, the horse, the whole nine yards. Mon-El, his cousin, who had to shield himself from lead with kryptonite, while Superboy was, allergic to kryptonite, needed lead to shield him, leading to these problems all the time with Mon-El, his first cousin from Krypton, and Jor-El, who was his uncle, but it was Kal-El's was his dad, and the whole mishmash. Anyway, Supergirl is now coming out. Just wanted to address that. They're expecting 600 to 700 million dollars in revenue for this. I am not optimistic that it's going to hit that kind of number. I don't know what it's going to do. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard about testing. I don't know where it's going. This is obviously, a Wonder Woman territory at this point. But yeah, I mean, good luck. Good luck with Supergirl, because Batgirl got canceled by Warner Brothers after testing so badly that they pulled the plug on it to avoid losing another $150 million in advertising. So the accountants at Warner Brothers were savvy enough to pull the plug on Batgirl. But maybe Supergirl's testing through the roof. I don't really know what's going on out in the valley, but I keep thinking there's a time Alicia Kushberg was Supergirl, but I don't think that happened. No, John Cox, I don't think that happened. DC knows how to mess up our beloved comic book heroes, villains in the movies. Thank you, Patrick. You were right. Nobody gave a shit about Marvel when we were growing up. Yeah, I couldn't care less about Marvel. It was just like I just thought it was a bad, spinoff, and DC ruled the earth at that time. This is separate. This is, a long time ago. This is separate from the movies and everything else. Today, this is way before there were movies made. But Superman was on TV, so that definitely helped DC quite a bit. This says, I don't think this is on Netflix. So is it? Hold on. Let me see what this is. Let me just blow this up for a second, because somebody's mentioning Supergirl. I don't know what studio. Is this Warner Brothers also, James? Does this say what studio this is? Somewhere in here. Any fans interview restaurants? We're going to talk about actor. Game of Thrones was the first. Okay, well, we'll see where it goes. It doesn't really say, does it? If anybody knows what studio this is, I'm assuming it's wherever Superman came from. Original, the last movie, I mean. That girl, Don't Let It Happen Again, Pew Pew. Supergirl is no Linda Carter. Well, we're going to see what happens. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh boy. I did not know that Mary Beth Hurt was married to Paul Schrader, the super Catholic writer of Taxi Driver. And there's a picture of them right there. Apparently, she had Alzheimer's for 10 years, World According to Garp, and some other credits that she had. Great actress. I don't know if she was acting for the past 10 years, because he said that she was suffering from Alzheimer's for 10 years. So it's really sad, because Alzheimer's could be such a long-term, slowly debilitating disease that doesn't end your life, like a cancer does. But in many ways, as we saw with Gene Wilder last week, who passed from Alzheimer's related symptoms, it could be even more devious and more debilitating than having cancer. Mary Beth Hurt, husband Paul Schrader, breaks silence after her death at 79 following Alzheimer's battle. Yeah, great little actress. Welcome from Redlands. We're going to miss Mary Beth Hurt. She was very, very good in the parts that she played. Rest in peace, Mary Beth Hurt. Now, this story, which broke this morning, this is a strange one. Lindsey Buckingham, you all know, the famous leader of Fleetwood Mac. He's a little bit older now, lives in Santa Monica, apparently got home last night, went into his building where he lives in Santa Monica, and some woman who apparently knew him, attacked him with some sort of liquid substance, which the police have not determined what it is. And I don't know what condition he's in, but they may charge her with terrorism. We're not sure, depending on what the substance is. He apparently knew the woman. I'm guessing that this was some groupie gone berserk, or someone who was a former lover. So those are my two choices. I don't know if anybody in the chat has any other ideas besides that. I mean, he's 70, in his mid-late 70s now. I mean, no, he's not dead at all. John, I didn't say that. Relax. I said he was attacked by a woman in his building and had some substance thrown on him. Was he dead? He's not dead. Apple cider vinegar. Who knows? You're right. It could be. I don't know. Let me take a look here at this article a little bit here. Buckingham's representatives of police, Buckingham is said not to have been injured in this week's attack, and an arrest is expected to be made before long, with a suspect identified and both the LAPD and Santa Monica police on the case. So, okay, so they know who it is because he knew who it was. And there's probably cameras and everything else. And it's probably some chick who's batshit crazy. Was Steve in the building? Oh, Stevie Nicks. Well, maybe it was her. Yeah, it could have been Stevie Nicks. They may be going after her long last to end this feud. Peter Green was not involved in this. I'm sorry. Peter Green, I think, has also had some issues in the past, and he's not been around. Not Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, which, as Patrick is well aware, did an incredible rendition of Black Magic Woman, which was later used by Santana. Here's Stacey Michaels just going crazy again. Why don't you do what Stacey Michaels does? Let her be your leader. If you need leadership, look towards Stacey Michaels as your leader, because I think she might be helpful. Let's see here. Was Stevie in the building? Horrible. Anyone remember the Fleetwood Mac when they were great blues band? Yeah, Gen X. Craig, I do. I have their albums, of course. That's what I thought Fleetwood Mac was. I didn't know about the other Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green, and it was a great British blues band. Old Fleetwood Mac, great blues band, says Rondell. Yeah, that's the one I knew. I didn't know about these two dames whirling dervishes swinging around in the 70s. Okay, we got that. Let's get into some birthdays here because we got quite a bit of shit to do here. I don't have time to dawdle. Let's open it up with a guy, Phil Foster. You probably know him from Laverne and Shirley, but he goes all the way back, born in 1913 on March 29th. Frank DeFazio, I think his name was, right? On Laverne and Shirley. If anyone remembers, he's from a far-off country called Brooklyn. Apparently breeds comics. I don't know how that happens, but it seems like many of these people came from a place called Brooklyn. He died in 1985. Really a legendary Borscht Belt comic. Before a lot of these guys get known for stuff at the end of their lives that have nothing to do with their lives, like Laverne and Shirley. I'm sure he loved a paycheck, but okay. This is 1918, March 29th. Tony winner, Emmy winner, you know her from Hello, Dolly, Pearl Bailey. This is she's Newport News, Virginia. Wow. She was a looker at the beginning. She died in 1990. I have a friend who's half black and half Japanese, and every December 7th, he attacks Pearl Bailey. I'll be here all week, folks. 1943, March 29th, an old friend of mine, Eric Idle, shown here as, I believe, as a Ruddle, South Shields, England, wherever that is. I am not sure. Maybe my British friends can tell me. Nuns on the Run, Monty Python. The second I met Eric Idle, we started riffing, and that was at every year I met Eric Idle one time at Dr. Stuart Lerner's birthday party in Beverly Hills, who was a close friend of all of ours. And I only met him there once a year, and then we would riff nonstop with Richard Lewis, who was there, myself, Ed Begley Jr., who couldn't keep up with us, Eric Idle, and I want to say one other comic like who was really funny. But yeah, I fell in love with Eric Idle. I mean, he was so fast, so sharp, and he just kept saying, "Who the fuck are you?" to me. And then each year we would pick it up from there. Still going. Happy birthday, Eric Idle. My favorite Python. I'll just put it that way. My favorite Python. March 29th, March 29th, 1947, Robert Gordon, who I was a huge fan of Robert Gordon. Saw him live many times in New York, born in Bethesda, Maryland. You may know him. He was a rockabilly singer when rockabilly had a resurgence in the 80s. He had a guy named Link Ray on occasion touring with him, the incredible guitar player. What an act. I mean, this thing was incredible at the time. It really took the United States by storm, and he really could cook. He could sing. He died in 2022. I didn't know that, pretty recently. Sorry to see him go. One of the great rockers of all time, Robert Gordon, great rockabilly guy. Bud Cort, aka Walter Cox. You may know him from from Harold and Maude, born in Rye, New York. Died 2026. When did this happen? You saw him in MASH. You saw him in Brewster McCloud. And I think most famously in this scene here with in Harold and Maude, 1948, when he was born 329. Brendan Gleeson, 1955, March 29th, Irish Braveheart, you know him from, born in Dublin. I mean, to me, it was Gangs of New York. You know, when the minority vote happens, when he gets a hatchet in the back from you know who, Bill the Butcher. That's my if you got a favorite Brendan Gleeson movie, please put it in the comment section or please put it in the chat. And that's the same for all of these. I just want to interject. When I give these credits, I don't have time to give every credit of every single birthday because we don't have time for that. So you can put down the ones that you like that I have not mentioned. Chris Spedding on guitar, absolutely great. But also Link Ray. Where was Link Ray? He was also on guitar. So the situation is you could put down, you know, the credits that I haven't mentioned, and or the ones I did mention, near Newcastle. Thanks. That really helps me. Like I know where Newcastle is, Arlene. But you could put down whatever you like as your credits. He died last week. Okay. Well, man, we didn't even have that listed. Must have been, Alone in Berlin. Wow. Man, that is dark. Died last week. Sorry to hear that. Anyway, this guy, 3/29, 1955, same exact date. Christopher Lawford. You may know him as the son of Peter Lawford and Patricia Kennedy. He was their son, became an expert on sobriety, started these foundations, went public with his own sobriety, and of course, as karma has it, he died of a drug overdose. You got to keep this stuff. There is a tradition. I recommend that people read the 11th and 12th traditions about anonymity in radio, press, and film. Annabella Sciarra from The Sopranos, but she was also, this is 32960. Oh my God, she was hot. Born in a place called Brooklyn, New York. You may know her from Sopranos, but she was in some Spike Lee films as well. I don't know which is her best credits. I would have to look over Rat Pack adjacent as young Patrick Washburn. Yeah. I'd have to look over her credits, but she was fantastic. Was she in Jungle Fever? Does anybody remember if she was in Jungle Fever? Please let me know if that's true. I know she was in The Sopranos. 32960. Amy Sedaris, born in 32968. Bojack Horseman. But more importantly, Strangers with Candy, which I think is still underrated by today's, died of cancer. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Bojack Horseman, Strangers with Candy, born in Endicott, New York. Amy Sedaris, 32968. Great, great comic actress. Let's see who we have here. Supermodel Elle McPherson. I just wanted to put her pictures up. I don't even care. She was in Sirens, for anybody who cares about that. Born in Sydney, New South Wales. I think she's about 7 or 8 feet tall. I'm 37. Mike says, happy birthday, Amy Sedaris on NPR. Robert Gordon, brilliant, The Loveless. Happy birthday to Elle McPherson. Lucy Lawless, Xena the Warrior Princess, talking about giant women. 32968, Auckland, New Zealand. If anybody in the house from Auckland, New Zealand, please raise your hand at this time and tell me if you've seen her there. Okay, I'll wait till we have someone from Auckland, New Zealand. Hubba Hubba says, Hubba Hubba says pew pew. Okay, Frankie Lane. We mentioned Frankie Lane last week in Blazing Saddles because he actually sang the songs. Here's Frankie Lane. He was a poor man's Frank Sinatra. Born in Chicago, died in 2004, sang the songs Jezebel. He sang Rawhide. And then Mel hired him for Blazing Saddles, and he didn't know it was a comedy, and he sang it Rawhide, yeah. Jezebel, right. Yeah, I just said those. Love, Lucy Lewis, and Spartacus. She wasn't in the original Spartacus from 1960, but some sort of Showtime remake or something. There might have been an original you want to take a look at. Yeah, Frankie Lane, born in 1913, March 30th. Happy birthday. Okay, this guy's name was Ralph Pierre Lecoq. I want to say that again. Ralph Pierre Lecoq. And this is why you need to have a showbiz name like Peter Marshall. He was the host of the Hollywood Squares, born in, I think it's Huntington, West Virginia. Died pretty recently, 2024, born in 1926. This guy was 98. I mean, maybe being a game show host, Greg, can keep you going. But when you have a name like Ralph Pierre Lecoq, growing up in Huntington, West Virginia, I think it's imperative that you change your name as soon as you get out to Hollywood. Swimsuit Issues got 90 subscribers for the mags and random VHS too. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Oh, this guy, Gomez, Adams Family. There he is. Wow. John Aston, still alive at 96, born 1930, in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe he has a son named Sean Aston with Patty Duke, who's also getting some tribute today a little later in the show. And the son is the president of the Screen Actors Guild. If I am connecting this family tree together, his son was a baseball player, says Greg. You're talking about Peter Marshall. I'm sorry, they're a little behind here. That is true. Yeah, I don't remember who his son was, but yeah. Oh, Pete Lecoq, of course. Pete Lecoq. Yes, as he played for the Royals. Thank you, Brad. Thank you. I now remember Pete Lecoq. Interesting how people come up with this stuff. But nevertheless, I just want to say, John Aston, his son, is the workers at the Writers Guild, which is not the Screen Actors Guild, are on strike. Not the screenwriters. The guys who clean the toilets have gone on strike because the staff at the Writers Guild, and it's very confusing to people in the outside world because they think the Writers Guild has gone on strike. It's the people who actually run the Writers Guild who've gone on strike, and they're the ones that clean the toilets, mop up, take out the garbage, and they took away their health care. These liberal writers. So keep that in mind. Um, let's see here. Oh my God, 1937. Dick Tracy, Reds, Shampoo, Bonnie and Clyde. How about Warren Beatty? That this guy's still going. Richmond, Virginia. Look at Warren Beatty. Oh my God. Um, wow. I mean, what an incredible force, especially when he started to write and direct and produce. I mean, even on Bonnie and Clyde, he had the wherewithal to take the back end on Bonnie and Clyde and made $40 million off of the gross immediately, which set him up as a power player to option stuff and put himself in it for many, many years. Shampoo. I mean, what was your favorite Warren Beatty movie of all time? That's a good question. I love the inside movie stuff, says Pew Pew. I don't know, who doesn't? Jungle Fever. Right. I thought so. Um, how about Paul Reiser, who was in Diner, Aliens, I think, Mad About You, um, My Two Dads, is that possible? Born in New York City, 1957, March 30th. I remember him from Diner, I guess. Mad About You, Richard Lewis always told me he stole his show and made his own show based on Richard Lewis's show. Anything but love. I mean, who knows? Richard always contended that Reiser was a thief. Piers Morgan, born 1965 in Newark, England. I don't know where Newark is. I'm going to go out to my UK fans again. Here's Piers Morgan, formerly on CNN. Now he's I think he's a YouTuber. Oh, Parallax View. That's a good one. Thank you, David. Piers Morgan, happy birthday to you. Okay, this is a weird one. Richard Chamberlain, who was Dr. Kildare, the Thornbirds, Shogun. He died in 2025. His birthday is March 31st, 1934. And he was born in Beverly Hills. And oddly enough, a known homosexual. His father is or was Chuck Chamberlain, who wrote a book called New Pair of Glasses. To those who it applies to, you may know who Chuck Chamberlain is based on that book. Okay. 1934, Shirley Jones. You may know her from Elma Gantry, Oklahoma, but you people probably know her from the Partridge Family. But I think she won an Academy Award for Elmer Gantry. We watched Dr. Kildare. Yeah, so did I, Stacy. Yeah. Newark is next to Jersey City. Yeah, no doubt about it. I once got stuck between the two cities at night with a truck underneath a trestle and made it to Red's it was Ma's all night soul kitchen. And she said, nighttime ain't no time to be in Newark, honey. I took that and used that advice for the rest of my life. Christopher Walken. Oh my God. 1943, 331:43, Annie Hall, Deer Hunter, Pulp Fiction. What can you say? What is this from Brainstormer? Or is this from Annie Hall, where he was completely insane, turning off the headlights of the car? How do you not love Christopher Walken? He always, as everyone knows, always does some sort of dance move in every movie he's in, and most people know this, he gets a script and has the transcriber or secretary remove all punctuation from the script, and then he reads it without punctuation. He believes that the writer does not have the right, this is Walken, The writer does not have the right to put in punctuation because he believes that punctuation is the writer telling him how to read a line. God forbid. So Walken has the punctuation stripped out of every script before he even reads it. It's kind of interesting as a writer to me. I always thought that was kind of bizarre. But when you hear his cadence, his cadence has no punctuation. So it's Mamet-esque in a weird way. Oh boy, Gabe Kaplan, welcome back, Qatar, Brooklyn, New York. Great comic, great poker player. Had Vinnie Barbarino in there, Ron Palello, and Epstein, Juan Epstein, who was half Puerto Rican and half Jewish. Um, he was a great comic too. He really was a great stand-up. I don't know what else Kaplan was in. Maybe somebody could fill me in on some other stuff he was in. Born in 1946, March 31st, in a strange place called Brooklyn, New York. Rhea Perlman, Emmy. This woman, Rhea Perlman, played Xena on Taxi, and she also played Carla on Cheers. Born 3/31/48 in a far-off comic land called Brooklyn, New York. If it wasn't for Danny DeVito, I don't know where her career would have gone. But that being said, I mean, DeVito wasn't in Cheers, but Carla was. So happy birthday to another Brooklynite. Here's a guy from Hill Street Blues. You may know him as he's Officer Joe Coffey, I think his name was. And he was in Hill Street Blues. Laverne and Shirley played a character named Sonny, if people remember him. But I remember him as a running back for the Vikings in 1976-ish. In the mid-70s, he was a running back for the Vikings and made the transition into television. After his career was over, I think he played for the Vikings from 72 to 77. And Ed Marinaro, yeah, Brad. I mean, great running back. I don't know. How about this guy? And I believe he is Scottish, from Perth, if I could remember correctly. Ian McGregor, born in 1971, fantastic actor. I think he was in Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 11. I don't know which Star Wars he got out from. Train Spotting, of course. Just a really, really strong actor with a strong career and able to play in thrillers, murder mysteries, science fiction, drug movies, action pictures. David Stanton saw him play as a Packer fan. I saw him play too from the other side of the scrimmage line. Lon Chaney Sr., not Jr., the man of 1,000 faces, born in 1883. There's one of the faces. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, born in Colorado Springs. And I was thinking the other night, what was Colorado Springs like in 1883? I mean, was it like Deadwood, the HBO series? Joe Coffey, thank you. I'm just curious. You end up in Hollywood, in the 20s and 30s. It's fairly sophisticated. There's a lot of money. But what was it like in 1883 growing up in Colorado Springs, Colorado? If anybody's from there, please send some photos. Wallace Beery, Ringling Brothers, he used to be in the circus, Wallace Beery, and he ends up being a actor in Alias a Gentleman, Dinner at 8, born in Kansas City, Missouri. In 1886, there's another one of these guys from the 1800s. Fantastic transition from not sports, but also from athletics in that way. You know what I mean? Toshiro Mifune, Tora is not really the one that people, maybe they do remember him for that, but I remember him from Rashomon, Seven Samurai, and Shogun. Born in a place called China, but he was Japanese, of course, in 1920 on April 1st. He is the the Marlon Brando of Japanese cinema, for what it's worth. 1932, Debbie Reynolds, Singing in the Rain. The unsinkable Molly Brown. Whoa, Debbie, what the hell's going on here? I had no idea. Damn. Tora was a good movie. Must have been The Rifleman in 1883. Yeah, I guess so. Or Deadwood, one or the other, right? He allegedly murdered the Three Stooges manager. Whoa, we're going to have to look into that. Lon Chaney murdering the manager of the Three Stooges. Debbie Reynolds, Singing in the Rain. Dear Lord, that's no wonder she became a big star in 1932. I think she must have passed on, but it says here she's still alive. El Paso, Texas, is where she's from. I've been to El Paso. I didn't see anyone who looked like that. Or this one, the next birthday, Ally McGraw from 1939, Love Story, Goodbye Columbus, and the Getaway with Steve McQueen, which I thought was fantastic, and ended her relationship with the kid who stays in the picture, the head of Paramount Pictures, who was her lover, and was stolen from him by Steve McQueen. He actually showed up, the head of the studio, at a motel where they were sleeping together, which was kind of awkward. And Ally McGraw told him that she was with Steve McQueen now. Born in 1939, she was absolutely stunning in Love Story. She died right after Carrie Fisher died. Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Debbie Reynolds. Yeah, Carrie Fisher put her through the ringer. I mean, let's be honest. They died day after Carrie Fisher died. Bob Evans. Yeah, Bob Evans, as I said, the kid stays in the picture. He came to the set of The Getaway because he had heard rumors of his lover being involved with Steve McQueen, and in fact, it was true. And that was the end of their relationship. Bob Evans will later go on to oversee the production of The Godfather and other major Paramount Pictures. This girl, Bijou Phillips, born in 1980. I know her from recently, I think Danny Masterson, that whole debacle where he was accused and convicted of things with these women, and the whole thing is murky. She has now separated herself from him. Great little actress. I remember her in Hostel, and more importantly in Bully. She was an indie darling, born in 1980. So I guess most of those films she did were in the 2000s, although she might have been 17 or 19 or 20 in some of those films. Greenwich, Connecticut, I think she was born. Great little actress. I don't know what happened with their marriage, and that whole debacle is she looks like one of the women in world wrestling. Hardly. Okay, this is 1908. You know this guy. Some people called him Barnaby Jones. I only know him as Jed Clampett. He was also in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He was born in Belleville, Illinois, died in 2003. Buddy Epson, give it up for Buddy Epson one time, shown here, I guess, as the Tin Man in a play somewhere. Born in 1908, April 2nd. I don't remember him. Kept trying to hit on my sister. Well, who wouldn't hit on your sister, BTK? I only remember him as Jed Clampett. I'm sorry. He does look like Mike Nesmith in that picture, right? Pizza guy. Supposed to be the Tin Man, but was allergic to the silver paint. Maybe this is an audition photo. 1914, April 2nd, a cat named Alec Guinness. You may know him from Bridge on the River Kwai, The Lady Killers, or Star Wars. I think he might have been in Star Wars. Didn't he have like a saber, a lightsaber or something? Linda Hunt. She was a miniature woman. Obi-Wan, yeah. Linda Hunt, the Bostonian Silverado, born in Morristown, New Jersey, 1945, April 2nd. Never really figured out if she was a dwarf. Don't forget the Dancing with Shirley Temple. Yes, I've forgotten that Dancing with Shirley Temple. It was just the other day I was watching that. And Dead Zone, yeah, Christopher Walken, I think is what this guy's referring to. Some people a little bit behind. Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe, right? Ron Palillo, welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back, Cotter. And more importantly, a film called The Cottonwood that I was in with him. And Ron Palillo was on so many different things in that movie. Pruitt-Taylor, Vince, myself, a bunch of other people in this comedy, but Ron Palillo was quitting smoking. He had smoking patches all over his body. He was chewing Nicorette gum. He was on some sort of detox drugs. The guy was a wreck. The guy was a complete wreck, Ron Palillo, but a sweet, funny guy, nevertheless, and will be missed from Welcome Back, Kotter. Died in 2012. I think he was from Connecticut somewhere, New Haven or something. Christopher Maloney. People know him from Law and Order SUV. There's the guy. He always had this neck like he was a linebacker for the Vikings or something. Runaway Bride, born in Washington, D.C., 1961. What else do you remember Christopher Maloney for, other than those two things? But I think he was on Law and Order SUV for a long time. The Killing Fields, yeah, for the miniature woman was in the Killing Fields. Michael Fassbender, who I am a huge fan of. I think he's German and Irish. The guy is one of these guys, he's too good to open a picture, but not good enough as a star to open a picture, if you know what I mean. X-Men, Shame, The Killer, which I think was a David Fincher thing. He's half German, half Irish. One of the best actors out there today. He really is one of the top. I could watch this guy in anything. Michael Fassbender, absolutely fantastic. 12 Years a Slave, not a fan of that movie, but he was great. Born in Heidelberg, I think, in Germany. As I said, I think he's half Irish and half German. I know there's an ethnic joke in there somewhere, but I don't know what it is. This guy, African-American, not a piano player, but he played a piano player in Casablanca, Dooley Wilson. And he was in Stormy Weather. He was also in Beulah. He was born in 1886. Here's a picture of Dooley Wilson mockingly singing as time goes by, mockingly about playing the piano or fakingly playing the piano as Sam, born in 1886 in a place called Tyler, Texas. Thank you, Inglorious Bastards for Fassbender. Thank you, Pew Pew. Every performance is great with him. Maloney was on HBO Oz. Thank you. I forgot about that one. Very good. He was also in a bunch of black African-American films. I'm getting back to Dooley Wilson. Died in 1953. Really did a lot of things in black cinema before he hit it big in Casablanca, so to speak. Georgie Jessel, the Toastmaster General, comedian, actor, stage guy, host, MC, born in 1898 on April 3rd. And now we get to Doris Day. 1922. Doris Day was a singer. Also, these outfits these women wore back then from the 50s. She was in Pillow Talk, The Man Who Knew Too Much. She died in 2019. But I'll tell you a story that I haven't told anyone about Doris Day. She only went with black men. And you say, how can you say that, Mark? Well, I'm saying it because it was true. And also because she was going with two of them at the same time. And they got into a fist fight and started fighting each other over Doris Day. They were both having intimate relationships with her, these two black guys. And they started punching each other over her. Now you say, well, that could happen in a bar. That can happen anywhere. Unfortunately, it happened in public. And the one of the black guys was Maury Wills, the former star shortstop in the Los Angeles Dodgers, who was managing, I think, the Seattle Pilots or something at that time. And the other guy was Don Baylor, who I think was managing the California Angels at that time. And they brought if I remember this correctly, because it's in Maury Wills's memoir, they brought the lineups out to home plate before the game started and got into a shoving match and a brawl over Doris Day right at home plate in front of 30,000 people. And I always got a kick out of how Maury Wills described it. Terry Melcher was black. You know what? Don't quit your day job, bro, because you got to stick with the work that's giving you money. Terry Melcher, of course, was not, as Stacey Michaels has to say to the retard who knows the answer, K-Dog. But nevertheless, getting back to my interrupted story by this Weisenheimer, K-Dog, Maury Wills was a crackhead. I don't know what was with Don Baylor, but the two of them were having a relationship with Doris Day at the time. I just thought it's absolutely fascinating. Anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that story. Apparently nobody gives a shit except me. So we'll move on to, what can you say? This guy was born in Omaha, Nebraska, died in 2004, born in 1924. Marlon Brando, Godfather, Streetcar Named Desire, fill in the blank of the other films that you want to put on your list of favorite. Those are my two favorite Brando films. You could put down what you want, but really the leading light of the method acting. Thanks for ruining Doris Day for me. I think it's in a book. Well, I didn't ruin it. I'm sorry. Interesting, Doris. Marlon Brando, considered one of the great actors of all time, really went from the stage to the screen in 1 second, from Streetcar and then into the film version, and then on the waterfront, and then onto some crazy films like Last Tango in Paris and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Marlon Brando mumbling at the end with the earpiece. Island of Dr. Moreau was my favorite. When he was fighting on the island of Dr. Moreau, and John Frankenheimer had to come in and take over the picture. Did not go well, and the former director went to the hills in the Philippines and joined the communist revolutionary guerrillas and attacked the film set every night of the island of Dr. Moreau. Val Kilmer was fighting with Marlon Brando. Brando famously took his cell phone or whatever that was back in the day and smashed it with his foot. And the guerrillas, who were dressed, at least the director gorilla was dressed as a half man, half human, attacking the film set at night to get food for the communist guerrillas and then retreat to the hills. That was about his last film, I think, was Moreau. Maybe there was something after that, but just an incredible story about, not the Wild Bunch. I just thought it was hokey, bro. Poor Val in that movie. Yeah. Poor Val wanted to work with Brando, and that's why I think he did it. And the director got fired, and Frankenheimer, who was in late stage alcoholism at that point, did not do that great of a job taking over the film, but that's a story for another day. Marsha Mason, born in 1942 in St. Louis. You may know her from Cinderella Liberty with James Caan, directed by my old friend Mark Rydell. She was great in that. Bloom in Love. There is a lot of stories I could tell you, but I don't have time about Cinderella Liberty and James Caan, but that's a story for another day. But Marsha Mason, happy birthday. Tony Orlando of Tony Orlando and Dawn. Go figure this act out. Tie a yellow ribbon, knock 3 times. Apparently, had a lot of famous people writing for that show, and he literally gave them jobs. There he is. It's Tony Orlando. 4358. This is another guy I know. From Knots Landing and Beetlejuice. You may know him from, I don't know what you know him from. Glengarry Glen Ross. You may know him from the submarine movie Red October. You may know him from SNL. You may know him from, I guess, what is it? It's not Third Rock from the Sun. The other movie, the other TV show. But Alec Baldwin was born in Amityville. Here's a picture. I guess that's with Mrs. Baldwin, who only speaks Spanish on occasion. He was raised in Massapequa, kind of near where I grew up, and I got to know him later in life through various different things, and one of his brothers. But Alec, yeah, when he was with Kim Basinger, they lived across the street from me in Manhattan, and he looks tired there. Yeah, if you had all those children, you'd be tired too. But a great career, for what it's worth. I mean, an amazing career. Eddie Murphy, 4361, SNL, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Raw, Pluto Nash, born in a place called Brooklyn, New York, that seems to breed comics. Check out the episode down below about Eddie Murphy. I think, like 30 Rock, thanks. I think there's Third Rock from the Sun and 30 Rock. I think you'll appreciate the Eddie Murphy episode. There's a lot of meat on that bone. Now, this guy, born in 1935, Kenneth Mars, we covered him in The Producers and Young Frankenstein. He played, that's him in the middle there. He plays the screenwriter or playwright of Springtime for Hitler, who worships the Fuhrer. I don't know what he is in Young Frankenstein other than some sort of Prussian medieval Dr. Strangelove with a robotic arm. But brilliantly funny, according to Gene Wilder. He had to put him into Young Frankenstein. Later on, he's in What's Up, Doc? Later on, he's in Malcolm in the Middle. I have no idea what he was doing. Always salutes Brooklyn and himself. Well, it's not myself. It's Brooklyn itself, not myself. There's a lot of famous people that came out of there. I'm not one of them. 2011, died, born in Chicago. Kenneth Mars, apparently one of the funniest guys in movie history. According to Gene Wilder, if you want to see that episode, it's down below. Craig T. Nelson, this guy worked. He was everywhere. Poltergeist. We just watched him in Stir Crazy in both the Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder episode. Spokane, Washington, I believe, born in 1944. Long-running career. Absolutely a great character actor. Christine Lottie. Now, does anybody know who Christine Lottie was? Because I do, and I remember her from Swing Shift. She was born in Detroit. Somehow I ended up at her house in Woodstock because I had hired her husband, Thomas Flammy, to direct Mambo Mouth for me for HBO, and she was there because she was married to him and living there. It was the only time I met her, but very attractive, great actress. I don't remember all of her credits. He was in Coach, yeah, that Craig T. Nelson. I don't remember her major credits. I just remember Swing Shift for Christine Lottie. So help me out here if you can remember any credits of Christine Lottie. But let's take a break and like and subscribe. And we're back in. 1965, April 4th, this guy, you may know him from Tropic Thunder, where he wore a blackface in Tropic Thunder. And I think he invented dice, or his father invented dice in a Shane Black movie uh, where he was running around, I think, with Val Kilmer as a man who inherited a lot of money. Oppenheimer for an Academy Award the year before last. Lucas, you have to find other ways to subscribe. Iron Man, of course, is Robert Downey Jr., his father, Robert Downey Sr., who famously directed Putney Swope. Just a great actor, has had a long, convoluted, bumpy career, and I think he's back in the Marvel Universe coming up as Doctor Doom. Not really sure how that works, that you could play an iconic Marvel character for 3 movies, the third one being directed by Shane Black, and then die and come back as another Marvel character. Maybe someone can explain it to me about the rules of the Marvel Universe. At the end of Iron Man 3, not related to Jim Downey, the son of Robert Downey Sr., pretty famous director. Tropic Thunder is severely underrated. It really is. Like and subscribe. Mark can afford the vacuum. He owes me the Chevrolet Lua vacuum. Dr. Doom has a mask. You will not see his face. Okay, but somebody's playing Dr. Doom. Isn't Downey playing Dr. Doom? I'm confused. I don't know how the Marvel Universe actually works. Bill Paxton, I love that movie. Only Downey could pull this off. Yeah, Craig, I think you're right. I'm going to have to ask him again about this. I spoke to him the other day, but not about this. Me too. It's a miracle Downey's alive. Yes, that is true. He somehow is alive, and it is a miracle thanks to Corcoran State Prison, according to Downey. Okay, Barry Pepper. You may remember him from 61 with my buddy Thomas Jane. He plays Roger Maris in that movie, and Thomas Jane plays Mickey Mantle, directed by Billy Crystal, who has an episode down below. He was in the Kennedys also, and was the sniper right in Saving Private Ryan. Also a known Scientologist. You could take what you want from that. I'm not not saying anything. I'm just pointing it out. If he was a Jew, I'd say he was a Jew, but he's not. Barry Pepper, born in 1970. I don't know where he went. I haven't seen him in a while. 61 is a great movie. The Three Burials of Somebody, Estrada, one of the great titles of a movie of all time when you can't even pronounce it. Roger Maris, Asterisk, absolutely. Gen X Craig. Three Burials, okay, I'll take that as a something. Maris got screwed, said the Colonel. Yeah, he got screwed. Short porch and right, though. Very, very short porch. And he didn't take steroids. So that may he plays very salty characters. Yeah, that is true. It is true. 1979, April 4th, Heath Ledger. Yeah, Lord. 1979, he was born Brokeback Mountain, The Dark Knight, in a place called Perth. If anybody's from Perth, say it so now or forever hold your peace. Literally was taken to the doors of Promises, the gate, to being brought into the rehab and turned away at the last moment. Was had some addiction issues. Heath Ledger, again, one of the great actors of all time, fantastic. And Natasha Lyonne, 1979. Still alive. You may remember her from the Scary Movie. I remember her from the Slums of Beverly Hills. I haven't seen The Orange is the New Black, not my cup of tea. But Natasha Lyonne has also been wrestling with addiction lately, from what my friends have told me. So I wish her Godspeed, along with Tiger Woods. Apparently had loose Vicodin in his pocket. That's always indicative of you being a pillhead when you don't have the pill bottle anymore and you've got the Vicodin loose in your pocket. Uh, Natasha Lyonne, great little actress, Slums of Beverly Hills, Scary Movie, American Pie, 1975. Anthony Perkins, Psycho, Fear Strikes Out, Pretty Poison, born in 1932. One of the great, you know what he was? He was Christopher Walken before Christopher Walken, I think. He was the guy. There's like one guy who's got to be the psycho of every generation. And I think Anthony Perkins was that psycho guy before Christopher Walken took over the mantle. Now, let's see what we got here. We're going to move into some events, major events of this particular week in showbiz. So we segue, to use the word ebony. I don't know what ebony means, Lenny Briscoe. Ebony and Ivory. Weird Science, the other actor looked like him. Wham, Weirdo. To Victoria Princess of Virginity. Whoa, the chart is going crazy. 3/29, 1951. The Academy Awards, I think it was the 23rd Annual Academy Awards. There's a picture of it. Look at that. At the Pantages, which is right around the corner from me here. All About Eve wins Best Picture. Jose Ferrer is Best Actor. Judy Holliday, Best Actress, not necessarily in that order of movie related to actor. 3/29, 1951, The King and I opens at the St. James Theater in New York. Okay, this is insane. It runs for 1,246 performances, 5 Tonys, and Yul Brynner does the role 4,200 times. I don't understand how a guy could do thank you for the shirt thing. I don't know how a guy, thank you, Arnell. I don't know how a guy could do a role 4,200 times. What happens to the guy, the understudy? Then he did the film in 1956. 5 years later, Yul Brynner. I mean, you want to talk about getting typecast. Apparently, he was able to work in other things. 2005, she was evicted by her landlord, Natasha Lyonne, according to complaints. 4,200 pew pew, I swear. He knew the lines. Yeah, he definitely knew the lines. 1,246, 5 Tonys. The King and I opens on Broadway. Imagine you show up and he's not there that night. You probably have a heart attack. Some Like It Hot, 1959. Billy Wilder, Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis premieres, opens at the Capitol Theater in New York City. That's her playing Running Wild, I believe, and Tony Curtis on sax, and Jack Lemmon on upright bass in The Train, one of the great comedies of the late 1950s by Billy Wilder, one of the great comedy directors of all time. 1962, March 29th, Jack Parr. Final episode on The Tonight Show. I don't know if he stormed off that night, but he definitely stormed off on other nights. Here he is with an unusual guest. He was a cantankerous cat. Let me just put it that way, Jack Parr. Father of Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes, that's what Tony Curtis is known as, the father of Jamie Lee Curtis. But that's true. I mean, what can you say? It's reverse nepotism when you start naming the children of the famous person who begat them. Speaking of begatting, The Great Gatsby, 1974, Robert Redford there on the right, Mia Farrow. I think Halston did all the costumes. I don't know why that's important. It's kind of a slowly paced period film. It was released in 1974 in New York at this time. Roger, yes, that's a Fire Sign Theater album behind me. Yes, you're correct. Let's see here. 48th Annual Academy Awards happened on 1976 on March 29th. Look at this group. Look at Jack. Look at Michael Douglas, who I said last week, I believe, ended up getting the rights to the play. That's Milios Forman on the far left, and Louise Fletcher there with Michael Douglas with his arm around her. Now, I think the play was optioned by Kirk Douglas, who was in the play on Broadway with Gene Wilder that we covered in last week's episode. If you want to have a look at that, I believe somehow Michael Douglas inherited the play from his dad, Kirk Douglas, and Mike Douglas is winning here as producer for Best Picture. That's why he's up there. Jack Emilios Forman wins for Best Director. Jack for Best Actor. Fletcher, I think, might have been Best Supporting Actress. I'd have to check that. 1978, Carol Burnett Show ends on CBS with 25 Emmys on March 29th. 1982, March 29th, the 54th Annual Academy Awards. Chariots of Fire. Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn, who were not in Chariots of Fire, but may have been in whatchamacallit, on Golden Pond. Is that possible? Why they're 82? But Chariots of Fire wins Best Picture. That I know. 1989, 7 years later, 61st Annual Academy Awards. Rain Man wins. Rain Man, yeah, Rain Man, yeah. Dustin Hoffman, written and directed by Barry Levinson. Jodie Foster, not in the movie, wins for something else. Let's see, we got a picture here of Dustin, I believe, coming up. Dustin Hoffman somewhere. Oh, this is the crew for Chariots of Fire, I think, right? Or no, that's Rain Man. Yeah, that's Rain, because there's Tom Cruise. There's Levinson, and I don't know who's on the far left over there. 1993 is the 65th Annual Academy Awards. Oh, wait a second. The Unforgiven wins. One of the greatest Westerns of all time. Gonna have to get Viva to watch this movie with Gene Hackman. All these movies always have Gene Hackman in it. The Unforgiven, it's like a perfect screenplay. The screenplay is just unbelievable. Al Pacino wins for Best Actor, not for The Unforgiven. Emma Thompson wins for Best Actress. 1993, this is the 65th annual. There's a young Al. Not sure what's going on with his hairline there, but maybe something was being implanted. 1955, the 27th Annual Academy Awards, also March 30th. 1955, On the Waterfront with the aforementioned Marlon Brando. That's Princess Grace Kelly on the right, who is not in On the Waterfront, but she becomes the Princess of Monaco with a real weird Hollywood princess story. But that is Elie Kazan, On the Waterfront. Brando could have been a contender, and I guess Rod Steiger didn't watch out for him as his brother. 1987 59th Annual Academy Awards, Platoon wins for Best Picture. Paul Newman and Marlee Matlin, not affiliated with Platoon. Also win. Paul Newman gets Best Actor. Marlee Matlin got Best Actress award, 1987. Platoon, Oliver Told Me, was originally supposed to be Al Pacino, but it took too long to get it made. So Al Pacino aged out, and he went with Charlie Sheen, interestingly enough. 1992, 64th Annual Academy Awards, The Silence of the Lambs kind of sweeps the entire thing there. There's Anthony Hopkins. There is, what's his name? The director there. Who is the bald-headed guy? Wow. Jodie Foster in the middle there. I think it won Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Actor. I don't know. Oh, yeah, and Best Director for what's-his-face? Jonathan Demme. Bruce Willis next year announces, 2022, it was a couple of years ago, I'm sorry, that he has aphasia, cognitive problems, announces his retirement. Sadly, at the end, he was literally just wearing an earpiece, being told his lines, and he was just saying them had some friends who worked with him last couple of years before 2022, and it was really sad to watch the decline, how cognitively and quickly he declined. Um, George Harrison, and Patty Boyd, who we mentioned before, were arrested and fined $250 for illegal drugs in 1969. There's Patty Boyd, the model on the right, who will be Layla, according to some people, when she was Eric Clapton's girlfriend. And she becomes George Harrison's girlfriend. Then they do drugs. Then they get arrested. Then they pay a fine. And it goes on and on and on. What was I going to tell you? 53rd Annual Academy Award, 1981. Ordinary People beats out Raging Bull. And you can explain that in the afterlife because I still don't get it. But they do give Robert De Niro Best Actor for Jake LaMotta. Sissy Spacek wins Best Actress for something I can't recall right now. If anybody remembers, please let me know. 12 Monkeys is a classic. Absolutely, 12 Monkeys is a classic. Produced by Bob Cosberg, an old friend of mine, 12 Monkeys. De Niro wins for Jake LaMotta, but the movie loses to Ordinary People. I just have to say that again because I never really got over it. 3/31/83. This movie premieres in New York. I was at the premiere. I was on mescaline with my friends, and somehow we had a limo. And the limo, I don't know why we had a limo. We had nothing to do with the production. It was Monty Python's Meaning of Life. We went to the premiere. I don't know why we were going to the premiere. We were tripping our balls off. We rolled out of this limo onto the red carpet. Nobody knew who we were. And we're just laughing hysterically all the way into the theater, all the way through the movie, and all the way out of the movie. That's all I could tell you about The Meaning of Life, because at that time it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that must have been March 31st, 1983, when it premiered, because I remember being at the premiere. So if anybody's looking for me for that day, that's my alibi. Okay. Another guy I know, oh my God, 3/31/91, Danny Bonaducci attacks a tranny prostitute in Phoenix and I guess gets arrested. Danny had a lot of problems and used to live right up the street from me here. And I was trying to help him get his life together for a number of years. So I'd walk over to his house and sit there and listen to him tell me about his dad. But I don't know what the circumstances were about him attacking this tranny prostitute in Phoenix, but it sounds right. On March 31st, 1991, guy was making, he had a radio show in the morning, and I think he was making $2 million a year just rambling on a radio show. If anybody wants my services for that early radio show for that rate, please let me know. I think I could pull it off. And it was in Chicago, but I don't even think he was in Chicago. I think he was doing it from here. He was his own worst enemy, Warren. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know about this thanks to TV World's Dumbest. Okay. Adam Carolla fired him. Tommy Lee Jones grading. Coal miner's daughter. That's what it was, of course. Coal miner's daughter. Tommy Lee Jones. Let's see here. Levon Helm from the band was in it too. I think Levon plays her father. Is that possible? Tripping Balls been there, says Yosemite Sam. He knows what it's like. I knew you could pull it off, says Warren. Anyway, so I try to help Bonaducci. I don't know, what happened there. James Farentino. Do you remember this actor? He's a good-looking actor. He's apparently had to plead no contest in court to stalking Tina Sinatra, which I thought is a dangerous thing to do because of her father. So Farentino pled no loco contendere. I don't know what his sentence was, but he was the ex-boyfriend of Tina Sinatra and was stalking her. Not a good idea. Not a good idea when your dad is Frank Sinatra. Your radio known could be Mark the Encyclopedia. Warren, thanks a lot. Could use Lordbuckly. played Peter and Jesus of Nazareth. Oh, okay. I did not know that, but he apparently did not get over the Tina Sinatra dumping. I listened to Mark in the shower. The Blue Angel, Marlene Dietrich, 1930. This is April 1st, 1930. Somewhere in Germany, this premiere is beginning the incredible rise of Marlene Dietrich to Hollywood stardom, although she comes from Germany to the United States and begins working here quite soon after the release of The Blue Angel. The first full-time movie theater in the United States opens in 1902 here in Hollywood. It was called the Electric Theater. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Whoa, bro. Whoa. Whoa. Very exciting. It had to start somewhere. Of course, it started here in LA. 1932, Tarzan the Ape Man premieres, and it's released. Starring Johnny Weissmuller. Here it is, Tarzan the Ape Man. Johnny Weissmuller, the Olympic swimmer. This is kind of like Wallace Beery, the Ringling Brothers guy. He will play Tarzan in 12 films. The writer of Tarzan will create a town out in the valley here called Tarzana. And Tarzana was a restricted town that didn't allow blacks and Jews. Just so in case you ever want to look it up, the writer Edgar Rice Burroughs, I believe, decided with his money to start a complete town that was restricted called Tarzana. Edgar Rice Burroughs, yeah, thanks, John. The Pete Lecoq guy, we already went over that. Brian, welcome. Thank you so much, Brian. You know, you should all be like Brian. And Brian is a mentor to me. He's my role model. Nancy Sinatra had go-go boots. Way to go, Colonel. Where was I? Oh, Tarzana, the restricted city. Yeah, I mean, it was lifted, I want to say in the 80s or 90s. I'm not really sure. But you couldn't live there if you were black or Jewish for decades and decades because of Tarzan. Okay, Stanley Kubrick, 1968, Washington, D.C., releases at the Uptown Theater. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Gary Lockwood, I think, was the star. And this really rocks everybody's visual world. I did not do hallucinogens for that one. I wasn't there at that time. 1974, the 46th Annual Academy Awards. The Sting, which I'm going to cover, whether Viva likes it or not. Glenda Jackson and Jack Lemmon. It doesn't look like them, who these people are, but that might be the producers of The Sting for Best Picture, I'm going to assume right there. His daughter Samantha is hot. Samantha Lockwood. That I don't know. Love Kubrick. Room 237. We will cover Room 237 tomorrow in Shawshank Redemption, because in The Shining, there is Room 237. But the cell that Morgan Freeman is in, if you look closely above the cell door, it says 237. Just a little tip for tomorrow. Let's see where we are right now. The second annual Academy Awards. I was called the Broadway Melody wins this thing. I don't even know if it had songs in it, or it was 1930. Maybe it had sound, and it was called the Broadway Melody. Warren Baxter wins. That's him on the right, and that's America's Sweetheart in the middle. Mary Pickford. That's the second annual. Wow. 1953, this magazine is created for the first time, and it has Lucille Ball's baby on the cover. It's one of the greatest magazines of all time because it's called TV Guide. And TV Guide was the guide for every single thing on television. And not only that, which people don't realize, it had in-depth interviews. It had an interview with Eddie Murphy that was so informative, more than any Rolling Stone interview I ever read. When I did the Eddie Murphy episode, I had to find this TV Guide on eBay and purchase it. But this is the premier issue of TV Guide, and that is the baby. It had no neck. It was born deformed. No, I'm kidding. This is the baby of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, a virulent anti-communist who may have worked with the intelligence services and may have known Sirhan, but I'll leave that for another day. 1968, a movie I was at, Planet of the Apes, when it was released, 4/3/68. Roddy McDowell, Charlton Heston opens. We were chased by 100 African Americans from the theater. We were lucky to survive. Me, Eddie Gold, and Ricky Hamburger ran so fast from that theater after it was over. They were rooting for the apes. We were rooting for Charlton Heston. We didn't know what we'd gotten into. We got there late, had to sit in the first row, and we just heard these people cheering for the apes. And I just thought, what the fuck is going on here? And as we were leaving the theater, somebody yelled, "Get 'em." And that's when you start running, when someone yells, "Get 'em." And we started running, and they started running after us, about 30 of them, audience members. And we somehow ran back to our neighborhood, escaping a certain death from the hands of the fans of Planet of the Apes. And which is a great movie, by the way, despite the violence that was perpetuated by these fans. James Bundy, thank you very much. James Bundy getting in the house, one of the great fans of the show. You should all model yourselves after James Bundy. Don't be embarrassed. James Bundy is a role model. Some people say he's related to Ted Bundy. I never believed that. But he could be related to the Bundy from the TV show, the former shoe salesman, Al Bundy. But thank you so much, Ted. Really, thank you, Ted Bundy. Thank you. Where was I? Oh, the 50th Annual Academy Awards, 1978. Annie Hall, one of my favorite pictures of all time, wins for Best Picture with the late Diane Keaton and Woody Allen and Christopher Walken as the brother, and Granny Hall. Richard Dreyfuss wins for Best Actor in, I want to say, what is the Best Actor in, Close Encounters or something? Diane Keaton wins for Annie Hall. And I wonder if, well, Woody Allen wins for Best Director or no? Didn't Woody Allen? I think he won for Best Director. Writer-Director? Best Screenplay? I have to look it up. 1914, I remember you were all there, that when they launched the first film serial in LA called The Perils of Pauline. Now, this is where, now keep in mind, here's the color poster for this. This is from the Electric Film Company using the Electric Theater. The Perils of Pauline, this is the 14th episode. A lot of times these are cliffhangers, and she's either drowning in a river, tied to a railroad track, falling off a cliff, and she's being rescued. These are very simplistic movies, but it was the beginning of serial movies and cliffhangers. I don't know if you remember, because I remember going to the theater to see Batman in serial form, where you had to go back the following week to see the next episode of Batman. I didn't see this stuff, but this was the beginning of it. The famous Perils of Pauline, starting in 1914 on April 4th, this week in showbiz history. Now, I got to take a hit off this. Hold on for a second. You can like and reply right now is a good time. Like and reply. Like and reply. Okay. This girl's, like and subscribe, not like and reply. What am I saying? No wonder we don't have that many followers. Goodbye, girl, Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah, goodbye, girl. Thank you. No, it does not. I don't know what he's referring to. Annie Hall. No, it does not. Goodbye, girl. Dudley Do-Right. Not sure about that. What about William Radcliffe, the son of the current CIA director, John Radcliffe? William, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wish everyone could be as smart as William Ratcliffe and as astute to know that he's getting entertained and is willing to donate. All of these lose money for years, all these channels. Even on America's Untold Story, we're getting our clocks cleaned over there. They have so many weird ways to take your money. YouTube, it really is sad. The donations really help. Just all kidding aside, you are not short of cash. I'm glad that Lucas knows that. Lucas knows my bank. Is my banker, Lucas Rocket, by the way. You're not short of cash. William, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a girl, 14 years old. This is a great story. The great story. 1958, April 4th, 1958. There's a guy sleeping in a bed in Beverly Hills, and it's the boyfriend of Lana Turner. And, you know, they claim that she was being abused by this guy. The guy's name was Johnny Stompanato. It's a great name if you're abusing someone or you're a muscle guy for the mob. He was working for Mickey Cohen. But Johnny Stompanato was, you know, in a lot of ways, a crazy guy, but he was also a sane guy. He was also a muscle guy. He was also a guy working regularly with Hollywood talent. And for some reason, and Cheryl Crane is the 14-year-old daughter I am talking about. The 14-year-old daughter claims, and that's her on the right, by the way, claims that she stabbed Johnny Stompanato to death in self-defense. And the court lets her off as a justifiable homicide. Now, that being said, Mickey Cohen didn't believe it. And Mickey Cohen decided that he was going to get to the bottom of this. And what Mickey Cohen found out, he was looking for Lana Turner. And Lana Turner was a loose screw. And apparently what Mickey Cohen found out was that, and again, this is what Mickey Cohen said, that they drugged Johnny Stompanato, that Lana Turner stabbed him to death, and they got the daughter to take the rap knowing that she would get off. And that, I believe, is what happened to Johnny Stompanato. Cheryl Crane, at the age of 14, did not wake up and stab this muscle guy to death while he was laying in bed. It's absurd. Apparently, there's a reference to him in LA Confidential, which we'll get to on Viva and Lordbuckly Go to the Movies. Thank you, Charlie. He's been a member for 5 months. NOK 50, I'll take it. Good show. Thank you, Pew Pew. A lot of stuff in the This Week in Hollywood. People don't realize it. They show up for the deep dives, which next week, by the way, is going to be an incredible deep dive on Chris Farley. You think some people like John Belushi were a train wreck? Wait till we get to Chris Farley next week. Lana Turner died the day after I was born. It was a dark day, John. But again, it's all about John Cox somehow, the master cartoonist. Cheryl Crane beats the rap. Mickey Cohen wants to beat up Lana Turner and shows up in court. It's a whole big brouhaha. But the bottom line is, I believed that Johnny Stompanato was drugged by Lana Turner. He may have been beaten by Lana. She may have been beaten by Johnny Stompanato. But it takes two to tango a lot of times, you know, in these Hollywood relationships. And I think she stabbed him to death. I really do. And I think she got the daughter to take the rap knowing that she would beat it. And Cheryl Crane grew up, you know, in a crazy way. Hold on for a second. The Natural Born Killers here, BTK, $5 into the house. Will you be trying to escape the new neighborhood of next year's Oscar awards? If Mark doesn't entertain you, then no one will. Okay, I'm not going downtown for the Oscars. I don't know anybody who's going to go downtown for the Oscars. They're moving the Oscars downtown because they signed some cockamamie deal with some theater down there, the Peacock Theater. This is going to be yet another Oscar debacle of moving it downtown into Mad Maxville starting next year when they take over. Let me see that. I think I lost a super chat there there we go. Beavis Wallace, one of the great super chatters of all time. He's in the Super Chatting Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. He's there with some of the great super chatters of all time. TV Guide was so important. It really was, Beavis. Thank you for the C note. Love your shows, Mark. It's Mark with a K. My grandfather would have had your back if he was at the Planet of the Apes. Well, Hamburger didn't have my back, and Eddie Gold didn't have my back, so we started booking. It was 30 on 3, Beavis, and we just hightailed it out of there. Yeah, thank you for the insane donation. But TV Guide, dude, I knew a guy. I actually was a caretaker for this old retired actor at one time with my girlfriend. We were living in his mansion together up in Haines Falls. And he collected every TV guide ever printed, and he had them all over the house in stacks by year. So you could, Scott Landers, that was the guy's name. Scott Landers, retired actor, looked like Orson Welles at the end of his life. He was addicted to Valium and port wine. But nevertheless, he collected every single TV guide ever made and watched TV 24/7 and would look up things in TV Guide, and it was it was just a great historical reference. MB getting in the house with $4.99, getting in there. Okay, loves me. MB, it might be a woman, hopefully. Hope she likes my hat and shirt combination. Where were we here? We got to get back to the show. I got off on a sidetrack here. TV Guide, Planet of the Apes, Perils of Portland Show. Okay, 32nd Annual Academy Award. Ben-Hur, 1960. Charlton Heston, Simone Signoret, who was gorgeous. I don't think she was in Ben-Hur. I don't know what Simone Signoret was in Ben-Hur. Had Charlton Heston, who once told me famously, the last and only time, not the only time, the last time I saw Charlton Heston, he said, "Good luck, boys. I'm off to South America to play Mengele." And he went to Brazil or Argentina to play Mengele in a South American film that was in Spanish, which you can find Charlton Heston playing Mengele if you look around. George Costanza's dad had all the TV guides. Right. Hold on a second. See you next time. I came across one several years ago that had every TV cover. Very interesting. Looking good, says Ryan. Heston is Omega Man, of course. Should have won that pork pie hat for the French Connection. I know it was opening day. Yeah, it was opening day. Sorry, go fuck yourself. Are you kidding me, Patrick? It should be a national holiday, by the way. Somebody should sign an order making opening day national holiday. Okay, that's the events. I want to get into some of the death because we want to honor the people who have left us in this week in showbiz history. Was Mengele staying in South America? He was, not at the time of the movie, but I think that's why they were doing the movie, was because of Mengele's connection to either Argentina or Paraguay. I'm not sure which country he was in. He's moving around, Mengele. Paul Henreid, Casablanca, 1984. Shown here, we covered it, Viva and I, on Viva and Lordbuckly Go to the Movies. Not a fan of the Nazis. Great actor, died at 84, 1992, March 29th, why I mention it. Now, Patty Duke passed away in 2016. Patty Duke, The Miracle Worker. I think she won an Oscar for The Miracle Worker. Of course, I knew her from the Patty Duke Show, where she plays herself and her identical cousin. Also, Sean Astin's mother, died at 69 of a ruptured appendix and sepsis. Oddly enough, I saw him as Mengele. It was a decent movie. Yeah, thank you, Garrison 67. I have seen it. Yeah, I have seen it. But getting Patty Duke, 2016, passes away. The next guy was a friend of mine. He won an Academy Award. He was in Diggstown, Officer and Gentleman, of course, in Roots. From Brooklyn, Lou Gossett Jr. Died 2024. Just a great American. He started out as, I didn't realize that we talked about, he started out as a folkie with Bob Dylan, playing folk guitar and singing and poetry, beat poetry down in the Village, Cafe Wa. Lou Gossett Jr. won the Academy for Officer and a Gentleman. He was a gentleman. I'll put it that way. He was just a fantastic human being and sorely missed. I won't go into it, but miss Lou Gossett Jr. I really do. Again, this is 2020, 3/29/25. Richard Chamberlain is Dr. Kildare, passes away at the age of 90. We already saw him. Let's get on to James Cagney, Yankee Doodle Dandy, dies at 86 in 1986, March 30th, 1986. Again, Brooklyn this and Brooklyn that. I'm just putting up where they're from, bro. You can't handle the truth. Iron Eagle. Yeah, I forgot about Iron Eagle. Sean Astin, Rudy. Yeah, I know the guy who wrote Rudy, which was a true story. That's Sean Astin, yeah. Who's now president of the Screen Actors Guild and won't give the staff money who are the custodians. Where was it? Oh, yeah, Public Enemy, James Cagney smashing a girl in the face with a grapefruit. One of the great American actors of all time. Grew up in Hell's Kitchen. Used to go up to Sing Sing prison all the time, play bass. This is just off the cuff, but I'm just telling you. Cagney had friends that were in Sing Sing, and Sing Sing had a baseball team. And Cagney would go up on the weekends and play on the baseball team against the guards and the firemen in Ossining and the surrounding areas. You go into the prison, and everybody knew Cagney in the prison because he would come and play on the team and bring them shit like beer and everything else when he was coming up from New York. But Hell's Kitchen guy, one of the great American actors, song and dance man. I mean, everything. He could do it all. I think he might have been a Mr. Roberts with Jack Lemmon, if I remember correctly, as a ship commander or whatever his rank was. I'm not sure. You're getting here late, Yosemite Sam, having acid flashbacks. Mitch Hedberg dies of multiple drug toxicity, coke and heroin. Went out with a bang at 37 in 2005. Wow. Didn't stick around very long, had a lot of fans. I am not really that familiar with his work. People say I should be. I'm a little busy with different things. It just wasn't on my radar at the time, but aware that people did like him quite a bit. We'll be doing an episode on Bill Hicks on this channel. We're not going to do an episode on Mitch Hedberg, but we will do an episode on Bill Hicks. Not that they're connected, but people seem to like both of them. Next, RuPaul will be writing a J.K. Rowling script as Stephen Colbert. That's funny. That's funny. He was Ragtime. Yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah, he was good in Ragtime. Absolutely. I mean, he could deliver the goods in anything. 1993, I want to say Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, gets a bullet to the head in The Crow accidentally, which had echoes of the movie Rust, if anybody can connect those two, because it was a real prop gun, and the bullet fragment went into Brandon Lee, and had similar stuff to the Rust debacle. Died in 1993. He was only 28 years of age, had his whole career ahead of him. Inexcusable, absolutely. Yet, all it takes is some inexperienced AD or an inexperienced prop person or somebody hung over. And if you've ever been on movie sets, there's a lot of all three. In 2010, John Forsythe. You ladies love John Forsythe. Oh, don't try to deny it. You loved John Forsythe from Dynasty and Charlie's Angels. Come on, ladies. You love this guy. He was 92, by the way. Steve Bochco, Hill Street Blues, LA Law, NYPD Blue, co-creator of all three, wrote for all three, producer on all three. 2018, died at the age of 74. Man, did he leave a legacy. Wow. Joe Flaherty, big fan of Joe Flaherty, shown here, SCTV. Died in 2024 at the age of 82. Some people know him from Freaks and Geeks. I do not. I know him from SCTV, working with John Candy. We covered an episode of, and a lot of the Canadians revere Joe Flaherty. Really, really a strong improvisational comic actor. 4/1/25, April 1st, last year. Hey, Val Kilmer, Top Gun, Batman Forever, The Doors, age 65 of pneumonia. He had uh, other health issues, of course, but worked with Downey on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the movie I was referencing to by Shane Black a couple of minutes ago. One of the great director's tracks, if you get a hold of it, check out the director's track on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Downey and Kilmer and Shane, I believe. It's been a couple of years, but I think you might find it interesting. Now he's going to be resurrected by AI. We covered that story last week. Heather Whatever watched Dynasty every week. Everybody knows that. The AI Val Kilmer is going to make a lot of waves. Dog Nose here a little late in the game, but better late than never. Dog Nose, Iceman, of course, and Top Gun. They Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a great movie, and they resurrected his voice through AI in the recent Maverick movie, and now they're going to resurrect him completely through AI. Good luck with this thing! Holy cow! Estelle Harris, who I met one time. She was George's mother. Estelle Costanza, here she is on the right. 93, I think she was in Toy Story as well, if I remember correctly. Brilliant actress, absolutely great comic actress. I met her once out in Malibu one Saturday night and had to do a double take and then introduce myself. I was shocked to see her there because I only thought that she would live in Queens, New York, and not in Malibu. So I was kind of taken aback. 93, died in 2022 on April 2nd. So a tip of the hat to Estelle Harris, one of the great comic, unheralded. I mean, she was heralded, but in a lot of ways unheralded. Now, Warren Oates passed away in 1982. He had a heart attack suddenly at the age of 53. And we know him from Caddyshack. Lighten up, Francis, obviously right here. Sergeant Hulka. He got himself blowed up, sir. He was Dillinger. He was Stony Burke. He was in East of Eden. His Dillinger was unbelievable, by the way. Check out Dillinger with Warren Oates. That's what I think put him on the map. He had a very short career because he died at the age of 53 from this sudden heart attack, which can happen. And then 1958, for Johnny Stompanato, dead at the age of 32, which I was saying earlier in this 4458 story. So it's his death, but it's an event. So it's both the death of Johnny Stompanato, and it's also the event itself in show business history. It's got double barrel action today, to use a metaphor. 1983, Gloria Swanson dies at the age of 84 from some sort of heart disease. She, of course, Airport 75, more famously in Sunset Boulevard, the movie. April 4th, 1983. She was born in 1899 and she dies in 1983. So I guess she was 84. Room at the Top with Lawrence Harvey. Boys from Brazil. I don't think, was she in Boys from Brazil? Really? Gloria Swanson? And finally, Nora Desmond. Yeah, it's Nora Desmond. That's right. Finally, the last contestant for today's show, this guy had throat cancer at the end. He couldn't really speak, which is a tough way to go. And he was able to write at the end, but he couldn't speak. And he had to use a device like in his throat, I think, to take in fluids. It was in 2013. I remember emailing with him about various things, and he had a show that we're modeling the other show on, and that's Roger Ebert, who died at the age of 70. Yeah, you could see they removed his jaw. This was at the end. They had taken his jaw out. He had throat cancer or mouth cancer. I'm not sure exactly where the cancer was, but they had taken out the bottom portion of his jaw. Really, really tragic way to end his life in 2013. And one of the great, I mean, this guy really loved cinema. He really loved films. We reference him all the time, you know, Viva and I. That's why we started the channel, to do like an Ebert and Siskel takeoff comedy version of Ebert and Siskel. But Roger Ebert was a legitimate film critic who the website and the people working there still, it's called rogerebert.com, and they still review films to this day in the spirit of Roger Ebert. I don't know about the spirit so much of Gene Siskel, but he passed the torch. He passed the torch to us, and that's why we're doing tomorrow. Viva and Lordbuckly go to the movies, a deep dive on the Shawshank Redemption. Okay. Any questions anybody has? Now would be the time to raise your complaints or questions. We had almost 400 people watching this crazy show for some reason. I'm not really sure. It's ironic. Cecil B. DeMille, his star is on Vine Street near the Capitol Records building, a few steps away from Sunset Boulevard. I know because I parked there a couple of times right by James Dean. Yeah, that's a good place to park. I know that spot. I owned theaters back then, and we loved Roger. Wow. Yeah, Roger Ebert was he could be vindictive too. I remember somebody was saying they didn't pose for him. It was some movie star that didn't pose with him for a photo, and he gave them a very bad review. Planned comics upcoming. I said, Roger, hair. We're doing Chris Farley on Wednesday. What do you want me to tell you, bro? I can only go so far, and then we'll, I think, do Rickles or Lily Tomlin. I'm not sure, but definitely sure that we're doing Chris Farley on Wednesday. Don't know who Nelson DeMille is. I obviously haven't met them. Show with Viva is tomorrow, Charlie. It's an hour later than this. It'll be about 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern Viva time. And we're going to get into Shawshank Redemption, some of the secret oddities of that weird movie. And somewhere I've got the script. I got to find a copy of the script. Maybe it's in storage. Can't wait to see Shawshank. I randomly was in Ohio, Mansfield, a few years ago. The tree, the prison is there. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was in Ohio. That's absolutely true. I might still be there, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Cagney rescued Audrey Murphy after the war and started him in movies. That is true too. What do you think of the historic buildings they are knocking down in Hollywood, etc.? I don't know about which historic buildings. You'd have to be specific. Scientology owns most of them, and maybe they're selling them. I'm not sure. I know that Scientology bought up in the 90s a lot of the ones that were extremely run down and renovated them. They may be selling them now, but they did get historic status for a number of these buildings that Scientology owns. So I don't know which ones. You'd have to be specific about which ones. You live near Stiller Mare 84th and Riverside. Well, Riverside's a little far. I lived on Amsterdam, but yeah, I never saw Stiller Mare over there, but not so far away. I lived across the street from Alec Baldwin and Basinger, who lived in the Bromley. Did you see Jerry Garcia's Tiger was played by Derek Trucks the other day, over 30 years locked away? Jerry Garcia's Tiger guitar? Is that what you're saying here? The Trucks was playing his guitar? That's interesting. It was locked away. Interesting. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Norway. All right, so you're up late one night, Pew Pew. Big deal. Put down the what do you drink there? In at that point, you drink vodka, or what's the main drink? Derek Trucks channels Dwayne Allman. Almost. I mean, Trucks is great, but he's not Dwayne Allman. That's for sure. I mean, I saw Dwayne Allman play. I want to say once or twice. I think once. Um, Shawshank got crushed by Pulp Fiction in the theater. That is true. Saw it after on a re-release when it got Oscars buzz. Yeah, it did. There was too much stuff coming out that time. Didn't know you were in Norway. Cool, you're here. Yeah, Pew Pew is a. Somehow, if I can get some Norwegian locks out of this guy, won at auction 9.5. The guitar? You mean Derek Trucks won that guitar in an auction, or somebody else did and they're letting him play it? Oh, Rickles and CPO Sharky. That was good. Very good. Yosemite Sam Beer. Oh, Beer. I see. I see what you're saying, Pew Pew. Gotcha. Gotcha. My good friend Plywood was Derek's drummer when he was young. Okay. That's interesting. Vikings got around. Yeah, I saw the Allman Brothers play quite a bit in my life, and I mean a lot. So I saw JMO and Butch Trucks quite a few times. Let's see, and Uncle Dickie, and when I say Uncle Dickie, it's not my Uncle Dickie, but it is the somebody else's uncle. Rickles and CPO Sharky, my good friends Plywood, like and subscribe already. Yeah, William, thank you. Derek plays the same Gibson SG he played as a kid. Well, that's got to be worn down after a while. Let's see what you got here. My first concert was the Ombres. That's manly. My first concert, my first physical concert in a physical place was Leon Russell at Nassau Coliseum. But my first concert at the age of 13 was the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival up in Sullivan County. I know you love lax. What's lax? I've checked. It would cost an arm and a leg to ship it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the thought. I was teasing. Yeah, that would be great. Bottle shop doesn't open until 9 a.m. in Australia. Have to get the beer the night before. Wow, man, you really got to go out of your way in some of these places. When I first moved to LA, I was shocked that the supermarkets had liquor stores within them, literally row after row after row of liquor. In New York, they have blue laws. And you have to go to a liquor store, but here in California they have the liquor in the supermarkets, and it took me a while to get used to that. I was not accustomed to seeing that, and you would see these old ladies with like 10 cans of cat food and a half a gallon of vodka on the checkout line. Hold on, I wanted to answer that thing here by your thoughts on Lou Gossett Jr. in Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid. I've never seen that, to be honest with you. But like I said, Beavis, thank you again for the super duper chat. Lou Gossett Jr. Was such an officer and a gentleman, to cop a phrase, that he spent so much time talking with anyone. In depth, I mean, in person, in depth, intimate conversations that he'd have with you. It was not like a bullshit, how you doing conversation, talking about the weather. When you talk with Lou, all of a sudden it hit me when I first started talking to Lou Gossett Jr. that this guy was really a guy from the 60s, a guy from Greenwich Village, a guy who, lived the life of a real artist. Oh, it's a sci-fi movie. I've never seen it. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I saw Billy Joel took a girl who later confessed she didn't know who he was. Okay, well, that's a little weird. But getting back to Beavis Wallace, yeah, I mean, Lou Gossett Jr. was to coin a phrase, a mensch. He really was a mensch. He helped a lot of people privately. And somewhere I've got an old business card of his that I'm going to have to dig out for reasons of just sentimentality, and think back about being at dinners and parties and meetings with Lou Gossett Jr. Have you seen the film Muscle Shoals? I have. It's a good documentary. I have seen it. I was surprised at New York City booze sales, different stores when I lived there, moved from Oakland. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way it is on the East Coast with a liquor store. They're closed on Sunday, and they spend a fortune designing those windows, bringing in window dress setters who design windows for different stores, including liquor stores. So that happens in the East Coast for clothing stores, liquor stores, all kinds of stores. They have window dressers, and that was a profession for decade after decade after decade. What do you think of Alex Gibney's documentary on the American Revolution? Well, I'm not going to be the first one online, Warren, since he's a deep state operative and his father was a Central Intelligence agent working in Operation Mockingbird for Newsweek. You know, I have a letter. Gibney is funded by the CIA, and as are his documentaries, funneled through Universal Pictures, and it's the movie money from the intelligence people. Constantly trying to express their point of view in documentaries. Taxi to the Dark Side being one of the first ones. His father, I have a letter, a rare letter of his father writing to Alan Dulles, the head of the CIA, to get him off the job as a Operation Mockingbird writer at Newsweek, where he was writing propaganda for the CIA. And Dulles writes back in the letter that we'll have to have lunch and discuss it to see if he'll let him out of this job as being a CIA writer for Operation Mockingbird at Newsweek. And the apple did not fall that far from the tree. Alex Gibney's a piece of shit and a CIA operative as well, in my humble opinion. I was a West Coast person. I did not know that. Press the like good people. Okay. That's why your radio name could be the encyclopedia. It's a long radio name, Warren. I'm not sure that's going to stick. And I was doing a radio show up until recently on, I don't know, it was one day a week with a guy out of Mobile, Alabama. Greg had me on. It was a short segment. It was getting to be a pain in the ass, but it was about 20 minutes on a Thursday, I think. And I think it eventually ran its course, but it would just come on live and give me his piece of shit liar who so many libs love. Pure propaganda, absolutely. I think he was outed at some screening in England where a kid stood up in the audience and outed him during the screening of one of his films. So yeah, I'm not gonna even look at those any longer. But yeah, he is a deep state filmmaker, and there's quite a few of them. You know, I've talked to some people about P.T. Anderson and one battle after another, taking, you know, $200 million to make that film. Helton trying to be a window dresser. The arresting officer explained to me it was a different meaning than I thought. Yeah, window dresser is a real job. You know, I mean, especially in the clothing business. I mean, that. But also with liquor, also with every product, they literally have this incredible art director's mentality. Did I go to CBGB's? Of course I went. Factory is pure Fed slab. Absolutely, Tom. I'm glad to see other people know this now because I've been on this for a long time, and I kind of just put them in the back of my mind. Boys in Brazil, Gregory Peck, Room at the Top. Oh, Room at the Top is Simone Signoret. The floor shot of Sean Penn with Wood was a real turnoff for one battle. Well, that's not the only turnoff. Sean Penn, just so you know, or nobody knows, I'm just going to tell you, he was playing General James Mattis, the former general who was fired by Trump. And he was channeling that, the hairdo, the twitches, all the things about him as that character. Fell in love with Heston after watching 10 Commandments, ABC Eastern growing up. Studio 54, did not go there a lot. Again, much more downtown, but Floor Shine, Boys of Brazil. Channeling. Oh, what time is it here? I got to get out of here. I can't talk to you people anymore. Okay, look, just got here. I'm sorry, Donna. Donna, you got here too late. We got to go. Like and subscribe. It's been 2 hours. I'm sorry I don't have tonight's. I got to have a Seder and Passover. Mad Dog Mattis. Thank you, Charlie. He was the one who was channeling there. But I got to go. I hope you like the backdrop. Come and visit us tomorrow. Thank you, Beavis Wallace, for the double barrel action up there with the double C notes. One of the great super chatters of all time. Of all time is Beavis Wallace. Happy Passover. Thank you, Patrick. Eating the unleavened bread tonight. Don't set my alarm clock. You get it. Okay, so come by tomorrow. Viva and Lordbuckly go to the movies. Last supper was Passover with no Seder. Well, it was a Seder, and it was the last supper for some people, not for everyone. Good Pesach, fun time as always. I'll see you guys next week with Chris Farley.